Hi, it's nice to have you here. My name's Jodie if you haven't been here before, and this is Growing a Gardener. So today we're talking about a trip to a nursery that I have recently done. The area that I live in, the local council, actually provides free plants to their residents every year. Now, because we live on an acreage block, we are entitled to 15 free plants every year. And then in addition to that, they also have a program called the Habitat Gardens. And this is trying to encourage residents to make a more sustainable and environmentally friendly backyard for local nature. And to support that, the council actually provides another 20 free native plants every year. So that means we get a total of 35 free plants every year. So this trip to a nursery is actually me visiting the local council nursery and picking up those free plants. The interesting thing about that nursery is that you never know what's going to be there. It all depends on what the local council has currently got propagated or grown from seed and is ready for, giving to the public. So it's kind of exciting to go and you just find whatever there is. So I thought today what I would do is to take you through all the plants that I have picked up, explain what they are, and we will also get to see me visiting the nursery and planting out some of the plants. So this week has been quite the challenging week in that I have been sick. I've had a fun cold that my toddler has no doubt brought home from daycare. And as part of that, I lost my voice. So the bits that you see where I am at the nursery or planting, I've actually just going to put music over or something because I couldn't talk. So let's start by watching me going to the nursery. Area is where all the plants are. So as you can see, they just divide them up by, shrubs and trees and grasses and that sort of thing. And then you can walk around and find what there is. This first plant is the hibiscus hot pink. I picked those up and I've already planted those. So one of the interesting things about this nursery is that none of the plants have tags. So over time I have learned that you have to bring some supplies. I brought a pen, some labels and some sticks, and I've made my own little plant tags. And there's all the plants that we got. So this section is me actually planting the first lot of plants that we brought home. So these are a hairy bush pea, which is Pultonea villosa. It is a native Australian plant. Grows to about a height of 1 meter and a width of 60 centimeters. And what's really great about this one is it is a bird and butterfly attractant, as well as being very drought tolerant. So I'm hoping that it will do well in this area because we can go through quite a bit of dry periods, particularly with the looming El Nino weather forecast that we have, which will no doubt be more dry weather. This one will also have some lovely orangey yellow small flowers during the winter and spring. the next plant that I chose at the nursery was actually the first plant that I picked up, and it was no doubt that I was drawn to the bright pink flowers that were on these tiny little plants already, and they are a hibiscus hot pink. These plants will grow to about 2 meters high and 1.5 meters wide, and will have that beautiful green glossy leaves and those large bright flowers. So they should actually fill in this whole area that I have put them in, but these should make for a very bright and happy entrance to our house, because these are right near our front entrance. And the final plant that I have already got into the ground is the Donnea viscosa, the hot bush, which is a native not only to Australia but also to my local region. And this one grows 2 to 3 meters tall, about 1.5 meters wide, and is really fast growing. It has little pink, red, papery seed capsules which kind of look like flowers, and they form in the winter and spring. And it is also very drought hardy and will attract birds and butterflies. So I've put 3 of those in. I think I've actually put a couple of these somewhere else in the block as well. And I'm hoping that these will fill in this area really nicely. Okay, so now we have the plants that I still have to plant. We've got 7 different varieties that I've still got to get in the ground, so let's just go through them one by one. Firstly, I have this one here, which is the Gardenia Augusta radicans. So this is not a native plant to here, but it is one that should grow really nicely in this area. It gets about 30 centimeters tall and will spread out 1 meter, so it should be a good ground cover. You get the typical big white flowers that you think of with a gardenia. And I'm really hoping to stick it somewhere where I need a bit of coverage. So I think I got 3 or 4 of these. So hopefully we'll find a good spot for them. This is the Grevillea stenomera. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but it is another native. It grows 1.5 meters tall, 1.5 meters wide, and it gets these really pretty, dainty kind of pink flowers. It will also attract lots of bees, birds, and butterflies, which is good, and is nice and drought tolerant as well. We have quite a few grevilleas already planted around our place, and they seem to do really well, so hopeful for these ones. This one is called the purple pea bush, and it is a native to not just Australia but also our region as well. And this one grows 1 to 2 meters tall, and it has little purple flowers that cover it all as well. Another pea bush, so it's very similar to the yellow hairy pea bush that we planted earlier in the video, but I think this one gets a bit taller than the other one. Very drought tolerant, very attractive to bees, butterflies, and birds. Basically, what I've been trying to do in this round of plants that I've been getting is to get lots of shrubs. Things that can take up quite a bit of space, because I'm trying to fill up a heap of garden beds so that I can try and keep the weeds down. Previously, we've gotten lots of trees, and we kind of filled out all the spots on our place that can take trees. So now it's time for the shrubs. Having said that, this particular shrub is quite an interesting one in that it can be either 1.5 meters tall or up to 5 meters tall. So if it really likes where it is, it could get quite big. It is the, now I'm probably going to say this one wrong as well, Prostanthera ovalifolia. And it gets so 1.5 to 5 meters tall and also 1.5 to 4 meters wide. So it can be a massive, massive plant if it likes where it is. Interesting thing I learned about this one after I actually brought it home and was Googling it is that it is a really good indicator plant for if your garden is dry, because it's one of the first ones to wilt. So if this one wilts, we know we've got to water everything. Also, apparently, has mint scented foliage. So I actually haven't checked. Let's see. Oh, that really does. Interesting. Okay. So this one should get covered in lots and lots of purple flowers in the spring and summer. So pictures I've seen of it looks beautiful. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited about this one. This is a dwarf plum pine. The Latin name is Podocarpus spinulosus. And it gets 2 meters tall, but 4 meters wide. And the pictures I've seen of it, it looks like a really pretty tree. So this is the only tree I got. The rest of them are all bushes. But I really couldn't resist when I saw it. It will also produce why it's called a plum pine. It produces these little purpley, bluey, fleshy bits that grow next to the seeds. And that's why it's called a plum. It kind of looks like a plum. It's not really a plum, but you can eat them. They are a local bush tucker food. So I'm not sure if they're good, but yeah, it's interesting. And I think you actually have to have a couple of them in order to actually produce the fruit, which I only got the one because I couldn't figure out where we would put multiple of them. So we likely won't get the fruit, but it's a fun plant anyway. Now this is a plant called a lily pilly, very, very common native that is used in a lot of landscaping projects because they grow really well. This particular variety is called Forest Flame, and it is a smaller one. It only goes 1 to 2 meters tall. So you can use these as hedges or as specimen plants. And all of the new growth is this beautiful red colour, which just looks stunning. They will tolerate a little bit of frost, which we don't get much frost here anyway, and also drought tolerant, which again, something we need. So I also picked this one up because it is one of the few lily pillies I found that will tolerate a bit of shade, and we have quite a bit of shade on our block, so this one was a good one to grab. I think this might be the last plant, and it's a bit of a wild one. So it is a low ground covery small shrub called copper tops. It is another native to Australia and will get about 50 centimeters tall, 1 meter wide. Another one that can handle a little bit of shade, another one that's drought tolerant. I'm guessing you're sensing a theme here. This particular plant has the new growth be copper coloured, very similar to the lily pilly, it's bright red. This one is copper. Oh, there's a bit of the new growth. You can kind of see the colour. And it has small white flowers that appear in, does not actually say when the flowers appear. So that'll be a surprise. And then after the flowers, you actually get small clusters of edible berries. Again, don't know if they're any good, but could be interesting. That's it. That's my video about me visiting our local nursery and also about the plants that I've got. So I hope you've enjoyed watching, and I will see you on the next one.